Alright, today we're going to learn how to make a sheep. Your sheep is going to be based on the model that we made out of clay. You're going to start with a bottle. I'm using a small 12-ounce bottle, but you really need a large 2-liter Coke bottle for this or it'll be big enough. You're going to need some aluminum foil, a couple of sheets. You're going to need a Sharpie. Going to need your clay tool. Going to need a pair of scissors. And you're going to need a hot glue gun. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the bottle and we're going to wrap it in aluminum foil. The aluminum foil has a shiny side and a dull side. Since Professor McDuffin's sheep were metal, it'd probably be a good idea to use the shiny side. So we're going to wrap the bottle up in one sheet of aluminum foil. The neater you wrap it, the easier it is to work with. Then we're going to fold the bottom end and kind of twist it up to make a little bit of a tail, and then do the same up at the top. Not quite as tight. It's going to be the neck, and we can make the neck have a little area to where it's going to hold the head a little bit later. Just showing you there how to make a little bit of a cup in the neck. It's going to be able to hold the head, just like we did when we made the clay model. Now we're going to take a plastic bag and wad it up, and we're going to use the other sheet of aluminum foil to cover the bag. I like using the bag. It keeps the head soft and allows the aluminum foil to kind of work its magic. Makes it real easy to bend it around. You want to keep the seam that you form in the aluminum foil when you're folding it up. That's going to end up being the back. It just makes it easier to hold on to things. Also, squish the top of the sheep's head just a little bit, just like in the model, because it's kind of triangular shaped, like that. Alright, then we're going to take the Sharpie and we're going to mark the spots on the head where the nasal passages would be. Then we're going to take the clay tool and we're going to poke those out. It's going to give it a much better three-dimensional look. Sorry, I got to be silly from time to time. Alright, now we're going to make the eyes. In order to do that, we're going to take a smaller piece of aluminum foil. And we're going to kind of pull it apart. Actually going to pull it apart again. I'm going to fold it up several times. And I'm going to roll it. It's going to give me a three-dimensional eye. It's going to look like a little mini cylinder. Now I'll flatten the ends just a little bit. Now that little tab, I'm going to use some hot glue to keep the tab from coming apart. Always be careful using hot glue. Even though it's a low temperature gun, it's still pretty hot. And do the same thing for the other eye. Okay, there's your eyes. Kind of press down on them a little bit, makes them look a little more eye-like, a little more round, especially in the front. Alright, so now I'm going to mark with my Sharpie where the eyes the center of the eyes will go. And then I'll take a little bit of hot glue and attach the first eye. I'll have to hold it for just a second, make sure it gets a good seal on it, and I'll do the same with the second eye. Again, working with hot glue, work fast, but don't get in such a big hurry. So there's your head. Now we need to make some ears. And it's really good that if you tear your piece of aluminum foil apart, just like this, and do the same type of fold for both ears. So I folded mine twice. I'll do the same with the other one. Then I'm going to stack them on top of each other and do some trimming with the scissors. This way I'm sure that my ears match up as far as their shape and size. So just like in the model, we want them to kind of be a little bit sort of like an exclamation point, teardrop. Then the smaller ends I'm going to fold a little more to give me a little more structure, so that I can attach it to the head, and as you can see, it looks more like a raindrop at that point. So now the first thing I'll do is I'll put it on the head and kind of bend and twist it the way that I want it. Remember, the sheep's ears kind of stick out a little bit. Then I'll do the same thing with the other side. I want to make sure I do this before I hot glue it. All right, once I've got them bent the direction I want them, then I'll attach them. Always, you'll have to hold it again for just a couple of seconds while the bond takes place. And if you need to make a few more bends to the ears, you can. Now we're going to attach the head to the stem of the neck. That's where that little cup comes into place. Just kind of slides in there just like it did with the model. I'm going to add some hot glue to the base of the neck. I can attach, and this one I'll have to hold, probably 10 to 15 seconds. You don't have to just smash it down. You just got to keep it together while the glue dries. It'll bond. And that flexible neck allows me to bend, and as you can see, there I go. Here's my sheep. If I need to, I could add, I could take my Sharpie and kind of highlight the eyes as well to give it some pupil. Now at this point, as you can tell, our sheep doesn't have any legs, but the legs are going to come in the form of a blue bot. And the blue bot is going to be what actually moves the sheep. We just don't have the ability to build mechanical legs. So in order to attach the sheep to the blue bot, we're going to leave its physical legs off. It's going to be more like it's on wheels or on tracks. We're going to use one of these little packing pieces, little styrofoam pieces, and put it over the bot. And this is why you really want that 2-liter Coke bottle, because it's long enough to go from one side of the packing crate to the other. The smaller water bottles, they just don't have the length to get across.